All right, now this is serious stuff. The Ministry of Primary Industries is investigating after new video footage emerged of sheep being punched, kicked and thrown by workers on farms across the country. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals have spent 2 years going undercover, collecting evidence of abuse at 34 farms in New Zealand. Many are ZQ certified wool facilities. That means it's a wool certification program developed and owned by the New Zealand Merino Company, focusing on improving animal welfare. Peter says the footage reveals rampant abuse at every stage of farm operations, from shearers beating, kicking and throwing petrified sheep to bodies of dead sheep scattered around the properties. The ministry is now reviewing over 200 video files. The Animal Justice Party wants immediate action, and the party's General Secretary is Danette Wereta, and she joins me now. Danette, a very good afternoon to you.
Kia ora, thanks for having me.
Nice to talk to you again, Danette. I've seen a little bit of this footage and it is brutal. First of all, can you tell us how many of these 34 farms that Peter saw abuses towards sheep were ZQ certified wool facilities? Do you know?
No, we don't have that at the moment. So MPI has just completed the first phase of their investigation. They'll be going through all of that footage and that will come out, you know, as they progress. So you can go to the MPI website and check out those updates as they come through.
So just to make it clear, because I hadn't heard of this before, this certification, is it to say that the farm that has it has agreed to improve the welfare of the animals?
Yeah, there's quite a lot that is actually on their website. That they've got a whole page that you can look at, and it has all the standards, what's involved with the animal welfare, how they're treated. It's quite in depth. The company calls itself the world's leading ethical wool brand and claims that sheep producing the wool are humanely treated. But as you can see from this investigation, there's no such thing as ethical or humane wool.
Well, doesn't this raise a question too about supply chain transparency among major wool sourcing brands? Because many companies using our wool, Barker's, Icebreaker, Max, Rod and Garden, to just name a few.
Yeah, some pretty popular New Zealand brands in there. You've named some of the main ones, and Nature Baby. They all market their commitment to ethical sourcing. So you can check out on their website all the information that they have. So it's really disappointing. We've been writing to a lot of the brands. So far, we haven't seen a really great response. We are asking that the public put pressure on these brands. So you can visit the Animal Justice website, and we have a template there that you can email MPI or any of the brands to keep that pressure on through this investigation.
Danette, Peter conducted this investigation over 2 years. Do you know how they obtained the video? Because in bits that I saw, they looked like they were working in the sheds because they were very close to the action.
Yeah, it's a great question. That information has not been disclosed. They have simply said there's been investigators. The videos are horrendous. We've watched quite a lot of footage. It makes me quite sick. I mean, you can see the sheep are, tackled, hit with various objects, ski poles, left with gaping wounds, stitched up without painkillers. One sheep dies and is still shorn. A throat of a conscious sheep was slit open after spending days struggling and collapsing, and her body was dumped into a trash pit. The farmers also used dogs to attack the sheep and terrorise them, and these dogs aren't even spared abuse. They are kicked in the head, and one farmer jabs the dog several times with a pole. It's pretty horrendous stuff.
Now, at this juncture, I've got some more questions for you, Danette, but this is what, when we talk about these issues and you bring up the likes of Peter, this is what I think they fight against as well, or a text has just come in saying, Leah, why give these extremist lunatics at Peter the time of day? They are lying, beeping scumbags. Now, you ask yourself who texts that in, how then did they get, who took the video footage of, do you think that they staged these animals being hurt? What do you How can you say that when you can physically see you're watching a video?
Yeah.
Who the hell did it then? How are they lying when there's video footage?
And so much video footage. I mean, I had a physical reaction. I felt sick after watching that. And it's really disappointing as well to see some in the industry minimizing the issue. So every single one of those sheep that have been abused or tortured or killed matters, each one individually. And these incidents reflect on that, unless the certification explicitly states that only a small percentage of farms can meet the standard, the true commitment to animal welfare means zero tolerance for abuse, no exceptions. So, if there is zero tolerance, why have the audits not stopped all of this abuse? We're hearing that.
Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, I was going to say we're hearing that in the industry, people saying, well, actually, this is quite normal when they look at the footage, and that's really concerning because what about all of the farms in New Zealand that don't have this certification? Imagine what's happening on those farms.
Well, MPI says the most concerning incidents are concentrated among 8 individuals, they say, who will be held to account. But do you believe there's just a handful of these abusive shearers or people out there, or is it more rampant, I wonder?
Well, I think it's ridiculous to think that it's one-off, and it does prove that the certification doesn't work. ZQ is saying that they're going to do some extra audits, but those audits didn't clearly work in the first place. So, as I was saying before, I think there's a lot of minimising of this issue. Sheep are beautiful animals. They're really inquisitive. They're emotionally complex. They're highly intelligent. They can distinguish between different facial expressions in humans and detect changes in the faces of anxious sheep. I read today that they can recognise the faces of at least 50 other sheep and remember up to 50 different images for up to 2 years. I mean, this is super impressive. This is like your dog. And I think, if you watch these videos and you picture a dog being abused that way, then would the majority of us think that that's okay? And I think the answer is clearly no.
Danette, you're obviously with the Animal Justice Party, and texts are rolling in, and I think people, and I read that one out about Peter, and actually there's a farm station owner whose farm is apparently ZQ certified. He's come out saying he felt Peter has carried out a hit job on the wool industry and have been running around for years spreading misinformation. So, and this is what people, sadly, when you bring this to light, and you've got someone else that is saying, does your guest just not like farming in general? Okay, I'll ask you, how do you feel in general about, say, farming or farm animals or dry stock farming, say? Are you anti-farming, Danette?
I think there's a lot of amazing alternatives out there that we absolutely don't need to use sheep for their wool. The Animal Justice Party believes in promoting a kinder, more compassionate society for all animals. We definitely recognise the inherent value and dignity of all beings, regardless of their species. And, I personally, as well as the Animal Justice Party, rejects the notion that animals are mere commodities or resources for human use and exploitation. I would really struggle for anyone to watch that video. I mean, you've said before you watched some of the footage yourself.
Oh, okay. Yeah, brutal.
And think that this is okay.
Yeah.
And,